And
Who cares about PlayStation? Sorry.
you're right.
This is not the first time he's come through and spammed the chat, Lionel, which is why I got rid of him expeditiously. Okay, has nothing to do with like anything else. That's like he is a repeat offender. All right,
I
he'll be
like that.
back in like 5 minutes, probably less, with a new account.
Expeditiously, I like that.
I was like, Anyway, what's up, guys? Luca here. Luca yes, the Ashen one, the Ashen Lucario, the Ashen Luca. It's me. I'm here with another episode of the show, and I have a special guest here. Shout out to Mbandi. Member for 29 months. Appreciate you, my boy. Thanks for re-upping. Have a great show and belated birthday to brother Slow-Mo. Hey, I know that's right. I know what's up. Slow-Mo is finally joining the 50-year gang. Woo!
Notice how no one said anything.
Damn.
Damn it, die.
Sorry.
Because you didn't give anybody a chance to say anything.
It's like Kevin Hart.
Well, I mean, that was the
Kevin,
point.
I feel like you're Don Cheadle and I'm Kevin Hart right now.
Also, you're lying. I am not 50 years old. I am not 49 either, die. Stop it.
Oh.
I am 43 years old.
Yeah, I'll be
around and I feel no different than 42.
Got the COVID.
I'll be hitting 34 on Monday.
Oh yes, damn. Birthday gang, 34.
Happy early birthday,
happy
singer.
early birthday, singer.
Ew, why do you guys sound so unenthusiastic?
Sorry, my fault. Hell yeah, singer!
I
happy
don't
birthday,
really
buddy.
care.
34.
That's kind of mean, Slow.
I'm joking is a joke. I can't joke.
I mean, is it funny?
No, you
can't. What if somebody said we don't care about Slow-Mo's birthday at all? We don't care about Slow-Mo. Like, come on.
We're driving Arrow cares, so that doesn't matter. One person cares.
Anyway. But yeah, what's up, Dion?
I'm joking,
what's up, Lionel? What's up, Leaky? What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Hopefully well. Anyway, we just move on from that. So, Xbox Developer Direct 2024. I know that's fucking right. Okay, guys. Singer first. Thoughts?
It was fantastic. Should I just go through it or just overall thoughts?
No, go through all of it.
All right. So I was expecting big things. They led with Avowed, and everything they said in that was perfect. They went over what is core Obsidian. Like they spoke about the quest and how, there's going to be the whole grey areas, moral choices, and your consequences will actually reflect in the game. That's something they do really, really well. Like a lot of their quests. It's not black and white. Like you could do it however your moral compass does, and it looks good. I mean, it looks very Obsidian.
You sounded kind of hesitant saying that. Like,
well, no,
he wanted to say great.
Yeah, well,
right?
It does look great. No, it does look great, but it looks very Obsidian. That's the wording I was trying. Because when I see it, I see an Obsidian game. Like, if you look at the Outer Worlds, if you look at other games like that, you could tell Obsidian made this game. And fantastic. Shame it's in fall. I was hoping it was going to be a summer release. But, what can you do? Then came Hellblade 2. And it looks great, but I'm not going to play it, of course. But
you're biased against third-person games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just don't play those kinds of games. They're boring.
Scared? Just don't like it.
Yeah, I can't. I've tried, and no, I just can't do it.
Well, you haven't tried Hellblade 2. So if I buy it for you,
no, I already.
You didn't play Hellblade 1, so
I already.
Dude, it's on sale right now, $2.99, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it
was $1 on Steam or something like last week or something like that.
The thing is, I look at it and it doesn't interest me. When I look at it, like I'll play a game if it interests me.
Oh, that makes sense.
So like Our History Untold, that interests me. Now, a lot of people will say, no, we don't care. We don't play strategy games, but I'm heavily invested into strategy.
Yeah,
so, of course.
Right. It's been like, 7 years since Civ 6?
Yeah, it has, and these are guys that made Civ 5, which is arguably better than Civ 6.
I mean, yeah, 4 and 5 are really good. 4 is my favorite.
Oh, 5 is a classic. So is 4.
4,
but
yeah, I like the art style of 4.
The thing I like the whole. When they spoke about it, a lot of people didn't spy it, but they said everybody's turn is going to happen simultaneously,
which is like a fucking genre leap, right? Like this,
yeah,
that's
it
such
is.
Like that's such an innovation. I don't have to wait 30 minutes for somebody to go.
Yep, and it also adds unpredictability because now you can't see what the previous person did and counter it. Because everyone's turn happens simultaneously, you now have to think on the fly. Because your neighbor might do something completely different than what you're expecting, and stuff goes south real quick.
Right, like post guards at your boundaries, at your borders, and then cancel the treaty last second, or something like that.
The classic break the treaty.
Right. And you won't know unless it's in real time now, instead of like watching you post up all your troops. I'm like, hey, Singer, what you doing there, buddy?
Exactly. It adds some great depth that Civ games are missing. The simultaneous thing, I don't know why it wasn't done sooner. But I guarantee you, when Civ 7 comes out, it's going to be simultaneous.
Most definitely, right? And I'm waiting for Total War to make that move as well too, because I'm a Total War guy. So like same deal, right? I'm watching like 2 other people, or in this case like 10 other people take 20 minutes on their turn. It's like 2 or 3 turns a night, and then I'm like, hey, I gotta log off, guys.
Yeah, because campaigns on there take. You need to have a whole bunch of hours.
Forever, like majority of the player base doesn't even finish one campaign.
Yeah, it's really tough. But the simultaneous will make the games quicker, which I appreciate as well, because everything would just move along swimmingly. So Hour was a great game. Loved it. And then we had Indiana Jones. Now, I was worried. Everyone knows how I feel about third person, but seeing it in its first person, I am now actually interested in Indiana Jones, because it looks like it's going to be a fun time. So, I got my eyes on it. And then the surprise announcement of Visions of Mana. Now, Mana is a fantastic series. If you haven't played it, try it, because it deserves the time. And I'm so glad that it's coming to Xbox, even though I'd play it on PC anyway. It's a fantastic pickup. So overall, the show was 8 out of 10, I'd say. It did what it was supposed to do. It showed me the games I'm excited about, outside of Hellblade 2. So, yeah. That's it for me.
Sweet. Shout out to Duck, who's been a member for 34 months, saying, hey, I'm really enjoying the show. Appreciate you, my boy. Thank you so much. Nautical Baby, what's up?
What up, though?
Not too much.
What is up?
I can't wait. Has my thumbnail loaded yet? If you guys could let me know.
I think so.
Okay, I just
someone's running.
Yes,
I heard someone running.
Yeah, it's loaded. Yeah, with Aaron Greenberg.
Yeah.
Yep. It's loaded. Yep. Yes, sir.
So, the year of Xbox begins. Let me tell you guys something.
Does he have the Xbox onesie on?
Yes, he does. So let me tell you guys something. Last week, I'm gonna read this comment directly because I thought it was fun, right? And I thought it was a fair comment because honestly speaking, it's something that I too would say. I honestly speaking, I would say the exact same thing. But I think it's funny. Let me see if I can find this. He's like, or he or she, they're like, this person's name is Manbiko. I'm sorry not to be an asshole, but you guys got to stop with this is the year of Xbox saying. I feel like we do this every other year and they never follow through. I'm going to say this, Manbiko. They actually do it every single year. It's not every other year. It is not every other year. It is every single year. It has been every single year since I joined this damn community 7 years ago, okay? and probably before then too. So you're not wrong to say what you said. That being said, I think it's fucking funny. All right. It's going to be their year eventually. And you know what? I think this year is the year of Xbox. Okay. So that is why my thumbnail is what it is. So
we are here being wild, I see.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. What's up, Iman? What's up, Sooner? What's up, Leaky? What's up, Dwayne? Dies up in the chat. Appreciate you, my boy. What's up, Blessed? How y'all doing this fine and wonderful Saturday night? What's up, Ripper? Okay. Yeah. All right. So I personally get a real kick out of the whole repeating things over and over again. Because if you don't find it inherently humorous, I mean, that's fine. But I just think the entire thing is very, very funny because it's, again, they have been saying that every single fucking year since I joined. And it's never Xbox's year. It's never Xbox's year. But this year is the year of Xbox. 100%. Yes. So anyway, Slow, what are your general thoughts on the show?
Well, 4 out of 5 games they showed I will play. So I think it was a good show. Not a great show, not a terrible show, just a good show. I liked Avowed, what I saw from Avowed. Visually, I thought it looked better than it did when they showed it at the June showcase. I'm not a fan of these kind of games in first-person perspective, but I'll still play it. And I did like when they showed some of the different combinations of weapons and gameplay. I like the dual wand setup. I thought that was cool. And yeah, I'll definitely be looking forward to that this fall. They showed. I might be looking equally as forward to that and of Visions of Mana, which I really liked when they showed that. So I'll definitely be playing that this summer. I think this summer is a good time for that game. Hopefully the Xbox community really likes it, goes out and buys it. Hellblade 2 was literally everything that I've seen before, with just a longer setup because a lot of people were talking. I did like to see David Garcia in there. I think his work is excellent. He's really awesome at audio, and I think he's going to nail it with this game. So we got a release date for that, which is great. And I think May works. You know, I don't think there's anything else that they really be competing with the game when it comes out at that time. I do not care that it's only 8 hours or whatever. I mean, the first game wasn't that long either. We don't need games to be 50 hours all the time. And let's see what else. Visions of Mana, I already said that. Aura, History Untold, don't care. I haven't played a strategy game like that in a long time, and that's probably for a reason. Yeah, I don't care. And then so like Indiana Jones, it's
We'll go into part detail, you know, once it's time, but go ahead.
Okay. I think these games are better in third-person perspective, these kind of games, an action-adventure game. I'm not a fan of the direction that they're going. I also I have some some concerns with some of the action sequences being in third person and how that's going to be implemented in gameplay. I can't really say for certain if they will do it the way I saw it from the trailer, or from what they showed, but I could see some moments where like a player could be disoriented going from, let's say you use your whip to go swing from one area to like over a ravine or something like that in combat or something, and then it goes to third person to see the swinging, and then you go back into first person. I could see, depending on how they do that, hopefully they do that well, that could be disorienting for a player going back into first person from coming out of that. So doing kind of like a mix of that in action sequences and going up a ladder is not that big a deal, but I can see it being problematic. That said, I will still play the game. I don't really care that the visuals didn't look, super amazing. Though they got a lot of time to get that fixed. It wouldn't surprise me if the game did get pushed to like early 2025 because they just said 2024. We're already in 2024. So I'm thinking like maybe it's probably considering late 2024. If you don't even have like everything else either had a release date or it had a release window, like a season, and this one didn't. So I'm thinking that one might be coming in hot later on. So who knows? We'll see. Chris Williams says maybe like VR slow mo. I'm still waiting for one person that says they had motion sickness and playing first person shooter games, but they also like VR or whatever. Like, because I have yet to see anyone bring any. Outside of one person I know, Eric Cuts for the win. Shout out to her, who has motion sickness and playing first person shooter games. There are more people talking about people who are claiming they have motion sickness than actual people claiming they have motion sickness. Maybe you guys are a little too defensive. I don't know. But no, other than that, I thought it was a good show. I like this. I think they should keep doing these developer directs because they set the tone for the rest of the year. They let the Xbox community know what to look forward to that year. And then you can put more time towards, in the June showcase, games that we won't see for another like year or two, So it's just like if you get these games out the way, some of them already have a release date. All you really got to do at the June showcase is just do a quick trailer announcing the release date of those games and then focus more on stuff like Fable, like anything else that might be coming out later from anyone else, South of Midnight, if that's not coming out this year, that kind of stuff, Contraband, whatever, right? Anything that we haven't seen or had an update for in a long time. So
all right,
that's
sweet.
all I got.
Di, thoughts on the showcase?
Woo, 10 out of 10. I love it. I dig it. I love the variety. I love what they showed off. It's a decent amount of gameplay and or looks at the game, at the games plural. I really just can't. I really didn't go into it with any expectations, so I was like, yeah, I can be let down or whatever it may be. But like I said, variety is always nice. I like the fact that they're still taking care of their core audience, and then there's branching out and doing other things as well. Especially with something like Visions of Mana, huge get. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think most of the games, like even if I'm not originally excited for them or looking forward to them, I still think that it's nice to be able to see them, right? Because you should support your console with software, especially. And I'm glad they didn't do the next 12 months thing, because that would have backfired again on them. So I'm glad that they're just kind of leaving it out in the open. They're like, oh yeah, it's sometime in 2024, or like, yeah, sometime in the fall or sometime in the spring or whatever it may be, except for Hellblade. I think that drops pretty soon.
Yeah, they gave a release date for Hellblade. It's May 21st, I think.
Glad we finally have a release date. All right, go ahead, Nautical, your general thoughts on the developer direct.
So on DPS, I gave it an 8 out of 10. After sitting on it and like basically after looking at the stream again, I have to go to a 9 out of 10. I feel even if it wasn't
that's fucking right, baby.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought, baby.
Even if it wasn't something, even if everything at that showcase wasn't there for me, it was enough there for everybody to basically partake and love it. And I love, like I talked about how I didn't like the way they showed Avowed the first time around, because they like to show these stylized trailers that look nothing like the game, and I'm like, yo, we're gonna be disappointed because it's not gonna look like this. And I was disappointed the first time they showed it all, but this time it looks a lot better. I like the direction they're going in with that game. So a lot of that stuff I really, really like. So my interest was piqued more after seeing the latest breakdown of Avowed. Hellblade, don't need to see anything else. Literally the game that I've been looking forward to since they announced that it was being purchased by Xbox, and just in general. Of course, you would want to see more combat sequences, but at this point, the game I'm going to buy, no matter what it looks like, I'm going to play it. So the fact that they just showed me more of what I already know, it's fine, but I was already hyped through the moon for that game no matter what anyway. The fact that they actually, Square came out and showed some more stuff, is really, really cool. Secret Vision of Mana, a lot of people haven't played. I just hope the Xbox community really supports it and stuff, because that's how we're going to get more games like this out there. It basically just shows that they are willing to support the platform on a level where they know people don't play that type of stuff, but they want to have a variety there. And I have to give them their flowers for actually continue to keep doing that. Ari, I'm not a huge, I love RTSs. I never ever thought about, I never even heard of this one, but the fact that it's there, I just wish that they finally give some type of console support to the game. It's just on Game Pass PC, which is fine, but you know, it's an Xbox showcase, you know, showcase some of the stuff on Xbox. But the fact that it's there was actually really cool for the people that have Game Pass on PC.
Hey,
and they still get all
40.
that stuff. Yo, go ahead.
It probably come down the line. Remember what they did with
Oh, I
Age of
know.
Empires 4?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I know. It's just
Yeah.
a simple fact. At a certain point, just announce that it's coming. It's going to come at some point, you know, but you know, you just said it's on Game Pass PC. So I still give them points for doing that. At least it is going to be something that's there. But, you know, I just wish that they put a little bit more emphasis on the console, because, you know, as of late, they've been kind of devaluing the emphasis of the console, and that game ain't doing no favors. But it is an RTS. Not too many people are going to really care about it, but that is a sentiment that's being echoed by a lot of people. And Indiana Jones. So me and Slow-Mo went back and forth with that one. We're not going to go into a deep dive on it because we got a whole topic about that. But I did not expect to see what I saw. I was hoping that it was going to be what it was, and it doesn't look as good as like something like something like Uncharted or something like Horizon. But I feel like the style that they went with, it looked like I was watching an Indiana Jones movie. Like that's what the whole color palette and everything looked like. I don't have a problem with the whole first person thing, because I feel like at a certain point, the developer, that's what they're good at. And yes, all those games would benefit from being in third person, but I like the fact that they're taking a chance of doing something that they feel like they're going to be able to knock out the park. And I'm not going to knock them for doing that, but I do understand that there's going to be people that's upset with that. So with that just being said, it was game after game after game. I really appreciated that. 50 minutes long. There was no filler in there. Got a lot of good information from the devs, and we got a release date for the game I cared about the most, which was Hellblade, which comes out in May. So that's what I thought about the show. 9 out of 10. Great show. Hope they do it and continually keep doing that.
Sweet. All right. So shout out to Forget Me Not with the super chat. Appreciate you saying, I thought Indy looked cool despite it being in first person. Also, what anime are y'all watching? Undead Unluck is really good. Basically like anime X-Men. Ooh, okay. I'll give that a try. I'm watching Solo Leveling. Let me fucking tell y'all something. Now, shout out to Lino. Lino has been trying to get me to read Solo Leveling for 4 years. And I started reading it as soon as that anime was announced. And it's fucking fire. I'm on chapter 173. I absolutely love it. So, but the slow burn, waiting week for week for that series is so difficult because it's so good. It's so fucking good. So that's what I've been watching so far. And shout out to my boy Yo B. What's up, baby? Saying hashtag peace, love, life. Be well, stay safe. Appreciate you, my boy.
What's up, Yobi?
And shout out to Verge with the super chat. Appreciate you. Saying Erica was just playing a first person game 4 hours. Ooh, delicious.
What game was she playing? That's interesting. Also, I don't think. Look, I'm not trying to like go hard defending Erica. She's never said that every first person shooter gives her motion sickness, because she could play Halo without it, but she couldn't play Splitgate. She couldn't play Call of Duty.
Well,
So,
it's not just
in the majority
first-person
of them,
games. She couldn't play Dark Souls on PC because of something. For some reason, she couldn't play it. Like it made her sick.
right,
So.
right, and it's funny because people are acting like, oh, now people have a problem with it. Like she's been, as long as I've known her in this community, she's been complaining about that for years. So it's not like this week this is the issue that I've been doing, and specifically because it's Xbox. It's like y'all got a victim complex y'all need to get over, because that shit's weird, bro. But go ahead, continue.
Thank you, True Bleed. I'm reading the webcomic, the manhwa, so I already know what's gonna happen. because I went ahead and I read all of it. So yeah, if I was like watching, honestly speaking, someone was telling me on Twitter, oh Lord, have fucking mercy, my memory. He was telling me that people are dropping the series because it's too slow. I would have dropped it as well if I hadn't read the webcomic. So, all right, but shout out to Verge saying, people just want to complain. All right, so I'm gonna give my thoughts on the show. Okay, so I'll be honest with you guys. I was at work and I completely forgot there was supposed to be a show. I'm like, oh shit, the developer direct was today. So I went back and I watched it. I do like the game after game after game aspect. Jesus Christ. I like that they showed us exactly what they told us they were going to show us. I really enjoy Xbox's transparency when it comes to a lot of this stuff now. Like they've really learned from a lot of backlash and critique, and I give them their flowers on that. All right, so what was the first one? Let's see here. Avowed looks great. There's something like wonky about that like the text boxes and everything. I don't know what it is exactly. Like I'm not sure what it was. Maybe it's cuz like I'm just not used to seeing that kind of character design where it's like I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly, but it still looks good. I do think it still looks good, just like different, but I think that works. Like I like the fact that they are doing things it's very similar to how they typically do it, but also slightly different as well. And I can see a gradual improvement when it comes to their graphics as well, especially between like Fallout 3 and the Outer Worlds and everything like that. So I think it looks good. I like the aspects of combat being just a free for all. You can have a gun, you can have a wand, you can have a sword, you can have a bow and arrow. I think that's pretty cool. I enjoy it's giving like Skyrim. Avi is giving Skyrim, right? Like it looks similar to Skyrim, and I like how in Skyrim you could just be whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have a sword and also wield magic. Like I like stuff like that. I also enjoy games where you have set roles, but I like the freedom that comes with things like this as well. Also, a big fan of the choice-based aspect. As you guys are aware, I'm a big Dragon Age fan, big Mass Effect fan. So I've actually been playing Baldur's Gate 3. I think I mentioned that, and I'm enjoying that aspect of it as well. So I think Avowed looks great. Definitely something I'm looking forward to for sure. So it's fall 2024, and I will be down for that. Now, Hellblade. Okay, so Hellblade. I'm glad we got a release date, 100%. I'm glad they showed us a little bit more of the combat. They said that it was like different, you know what I'm saying? And as I was watching, I like how what is the word? How oh fuck, I can't think of the word. It is emotive. I like how emotive that Senua is when it comes to the combat sequences, the way she like wipes at her face, the pain on her face as she's being bitten into like the grimace. Like I really like all of that, and they could I could tell they worked like that fucking facial stuff. Like that was super important to them. So and I think it paid off 100%. I do recall a couple of years ago, because it has been years, where I was just like, I bet this combat is exactly the fucking same. Now maybe it's not exactly the same. There's been improvements between the two, but I do think it's very similar. I did play Hellblade, but I will admit I stopped playing it because the voices were fucking getting to me. I know that sounds crazy, but the voices were fucking getting to me. And I was like, hell, let me go ahead and turn this shit off, right? Because as someone who has mental health issues, it was just too much for me personally. So I don't think I'll be playing Hellblade 2, but I do think it looks good. Vengeance of Mana, that's I've never played. What's the series called?
It's the Mana series.
Mana series, yeah, I've never played this. I'm not sure if it's something I would be into. But I think it's great that they're getting more. Is this a Japanese game? Is this a Japanese?
Yes,
it's
it's by Square Enix.
I like that Xbox is getting more JRPGs, because I think it's something that's been important to some people, them having a more diverse lineup when it comes to that stuff and being more accepting. Ara History Untold, listen, you're not going to catch me playing that, but if you like it, I love it. That's all that matters, right?
Oh, come on, Luca. You need to play with me and Doug. Come on, just one time.
I will say with the simultaneous turns, you may actually have fun. Like it's like if you like board games, I would akin it to that. If you don't, then I mean, I just skip it.
Oh, I do like board games. They're fun. Shout out to
Yeah.
Meat Puppet, who's been a member for 35 months. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's see here. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. As someone who grew up watching Indiana Jones, because like my grandpa loves Indiana Jones, right? He loves Indiana Jones, he loves Star Trek, he loves Star Wars, and he loves James Bond. So I grew up watching all of those because those are his loves, right? I really enjoyed Indiana Jones growing up. But this wasn't something I was like super looking forward to. I was like, okay, cool. This is like something. I mean, those recent Indiana Jones movies have been very spooky from what I've seen and heard from people, what people have been saying. So, I was like, I don't know if this is like the right time for an Indiana Jones game. Like maybe the hype and interest isn't there. But I gotta admit, I really enjoyed what I saw from the showing. You know what I'm saying? From the showing, I like the gameplay aspects. I'm a big fan of the Wolfenstein series. I love Wolfenstein: A New Order. I love Wolfenstein 2. Like, I have a lot of fun with those series. So I am someone who personally does not mind the first person aspect of it. I don't have an issue with it. I know, I think Slomo brought up some valid points um, in his reasoning as to why he would have preferred third person. But for me personally, I think it looks good and I think it looks fun and I don't mind that it's in first person. I think a lot of people are making the comment that, since Uncharted and Tomb Raider were based off of Indiana Jones, that it would make more sense for it to be in third person because that's the progenitor, But I think by having it in first person, it kind of works towards taking some of those comparisons away, so it's not just called a Uncharted clone, Tomb Raider clone, especially from people who don't know that it's the progenitor, it's the originator, it's what those series are based off of because they're younger. You know what I'm saying? Like they're younger, so they wouldn't know. They only know what they know, right? So I thought it looks great. I think they did a very good job. I think Xbox should continue with these kinds of presentations going forward, and yeah. Yes. Okay. All right. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this Indiana Jones thing, and it being in first person because that has caused a lot of issues for a lot of people. So, Di, go ahead.
I have no problem with it being in first person. I dig it. I mean, is it something that I expected? Again, no, because I didn't have any expectations. We hadn't even seen anything about Indy, especially the game. Like, I didn't think we had. Well, I don't even think we had the title card, right? I don't think we had anything.
We had like a fucking image.
Yeah, there was a very barely 1 minute teaser trailer for like a few years, and all it showed was like a book, a hat, and a whip.
Yeah, so we basically had nothing but like some in-engine renders of his clothes or his hat, So I think that it was definitely one of those things where anything could have been in the mix. So I was pleasantly surprised to see it swap between first and third, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that it looks faithful to the era. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's like if somebody told me that Machine Games had like Spielberg working on it or like, producing it or being something on it, I would believe them, right? Like it feels, I don't know how if this is the right description, but like the texture of it looks like it's straight out of like the 80s films.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. It's very
like
whimsical.
that 35 millimeter, especially that just the humor, the style, like it's very Spielberg, and I just felt like they nailed the tone, the atmosphere, and I was really surprised by Troy Baker. At first it was like, oh, Troy Baker. I was like, oh, this guy again. Like how many awards does this guy need? But then I heard him and I was like, you know what? He does sound pretty decent, actually.
He sounds close enough to Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially without actually having Harrison Ford on board. So I was like, this is basically, I mean, like you're basically going to be getting an impersonator, at any and all times. So I was happy to see that Troy Baker not only made it his own thing, but also made it close enough and faithful enough where you're like, yeah, I can see it, right? Like obviously it's a video game. Like yeah, like he sounds good.
All right. Sweet. Yeah. Okay, Slomo, do you want to like go further elaborate on your thoughts on why you don't like that it's in first person?
Sure. For these, as I said earlier, for this kind of genre, I prefer these kind of games in third person perspective. And also when it comes to popular IP, I think a lot of people kind of want to see the character. That is the star of the show, Indiana Jones. You know, you see the character, you watch the movies, you're seeing Harrison Ford play the character. In the game, instead of seeing Harrison Ford at when you are playing him at all times, you're seeing hands and feet, and then occasionally Harrison Ford. So it's a bit different, and I think that a lot of people would prefer to actually see that character, that they don't play games and they don't envision themselves as this is me. Like, no, this is Indiana Jones, especially when a character is going to be fully voice acted with their own personality and stuff like that.
Okay, okay, counterpoint, we can see him in cutscenes. And I
said,
yeah,
you're going to see him in cutscenes
and mechanics as well.
I think being able to see him in mechanics and cutscenes is enough. I feel if fucking Cyberpunk had given me that, at least I wouldn't have been as annoyed as I was that they cut it out completely, right? But I think the fact that we can see Indy, we can feel his expressions, we can hear his voice, and we can see him in these cutscenes and during the you said certain actions, right? I feel like that's enough. I don't need to see him at all times in order to feel like I'm Indiana Jones. Not that
like climbing or swinging.
Would you feel the same?
Things.
Would you feel the same if that's how Arcane decided to do Blade?
I honestly, I don't really care if Blade is in third person or first person.
Like Shadow Warrior is awesome.
Like, especially considering how I feel about Dishonored and how much of a big fan I am of the Dishonored franchise. I don't, for me personally, because I'm a fan of Dishonored and I'm a fan of that branch of Arcane, I don't think it would bother me personally. Like, if we could still see Blade in cutscenes, I think that would be dope, and I wouldn't mind playing in first person. But I would also have to see how they do it, how they actually implement it. So I'm very curious on how that's going to turn out in the coming years.
Yeah. For me, I would say I would probably feel even worse if it was Blade, considering I actually care about Blade. I don't care about Indiana Jones. So I would be even actually upset. I'm not really upset. I just pretty much said, this is what I would prefer. I'm still going to play the game. And if it's quality, I'm going to enjoy it, right? But to the argument about third person, I see a lot of people equating a view of the character with all the game mechanics of Uncharted and Tomb Raider. And I mean, I can't remember the last time. I know Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the last Tomb Raider game. I don't know exactly what year that came out, but the last Uncharted was 7 years ago. I would assume that if Indiana Jones was fully third person, that it would not be like have as many outdated mechanics as Uncharted does, that they would choose to, make some things a bit different,
Shadow came out in 2018.
2018? All right, so
6 years.
6 years. And it's been 7 years for Uncharted, because Uncharted was Lost Legacy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like 7 years since the last of those games. It doesn't, like, yeah, you're gonna have some people who are like, oh, well, you're copying Tomb Raider / Uncharted. I don't think the casual gamer, especially people who are looking towards Indiana Jones, or people who might be like really casual gamers, but they really love the Indiana Jones IP, are going to be caring that much or thinking that much about a game that is going close to a decade, the last one close to a decade old. So I don't think they should, if their concern was people going to say we're copying, then I don't think that was necessary.
I mean, wouldn't that necessarily be the best thing to do, right? Especially since nothing is on the market in the last almost decade. Like, that would be the obvious thing to do. So it would be, so you should applaud them for doing something different instead of the casual safe approach.
That
personally.
I don't think that's a safe approach. Like, I don't think it's a safe approach because it's been done before. I mean, not everyone. I don't think everyone can do it well just because it's been done before. Not saying they can't do it well. I think Machine Games is an awesome developer, but if it's bunk, people are going to call it bunk. I think it's more like if you're a quality developer, then you can nail it regardless. But it's really just about preference, what people want to see and play with when they're playing the game. And I mean, for me, I'd much rather actually see the character than see like fists coming out of the bottom of the screen as I'm punching somebody versus actually seeing Indiana Jones cocking back and punching Nazis in the face.
Question: would you prefer, because Machine Games are experts at doing first person?
Yes.
What happens if would you prefer them to do what they're known for, what they do really well, which is first person? Or would you want them to have a try at third person and maybe screw it up?
I don't think they're. I'll answer.
No, I know.
Honestly, well, real
Sorry,
quick, but I personally don't think there's anything wrong with developers branching out. Like, I think developers should make the kind of games that they want to make. Like, if this is the kind of game they wanted to make, then I completely understand the disappointment that some gamers may have, and I think that's 100% valid. But at the end of the day, like, if it's what they wanted to make, I'm with that. Now, at the same time, if they wanted to make this and try to do the third person angle, I would have been in support of that as well. I'm like, yes, try it and see what happens. See if you're successful. You know, you're gonna make some mistakes here and there, but you know, maybe you can get some tips from the other developers, the plethora of developers under Xbox's umbrella at this point. Like, I would have been okay with that as well, as long as they were not being forced to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, as long as it's something they actually want to do, because you can tell when someone has passion for a project versus Redfall. Okay, I'm out there.
But to be fair, the passion in Redfall was in the second half of the game. So
yeah.
But by the way, Luca, didn't you get motion sickness from Redfall? I'm not trying to call you out or anything. I just want to prove a point to some people. Oh no, it just made me sick
because it was 30 frames. I was playing on Xbox when we played.
Okay.
Yeah.
First person.
Let me fucking tell you something about the frame issues I've been having, right? So because my fraud ass has not been playing any fucking games, let me tell you something. I played Baldur's Gate on Martin Luther King Day. No, that wasn't Martin Luther King Day. I did play it on that day. I played it on New Year's Day for like the first time. And because it had been so long since I played a fucking game, the amount of sickness that went through me was actually on another level. Like, I was fucking sick, dude. It didn't help. I don't know. Like, something was going on with my stomach. Something was going on with my head. Like, I was fucking sick. So I'm saying I'm at this point, like, you know, you take some time off gaming, it's going to fuck you up if you try to get back. I'm older. Oh my God. Like, I'm at that age where it fucks me up, right? But anyway, so yeah, I was feeling sick because I was playing in 30 frames. Yeah. So.
Okay. Also, I want to say that, like, to Singer's question, we saw Cyberpunk. We saw CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk go from using third-person perspective in all of their games, all their Witcher games, and then doing first-person perspective, and they nailed it. And even though people did not like that, and people wanted third-person like they had always done,
because they said that's what they were doing, they fucking liars. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they also started out saying that's the kind of game they would be making, which is a bit different than Machine Games, because Machine Games never gave that indication. That said, it turned out well, and so, you know, the game's awesome. It's a great game, and they made it work. Guerrilla did Killzone first person, and then went to the two Horizon games third person perspective. Even though they are boring in my mind, I think they nailed
Horizon,
the visual aesthetic and everything. So.
Yes, Horizon Snooze Fest and Horizon Zero Dawn. You know what I'm saying? 100%. I'm with you. Go ahead.
But I'm just at this point, I'm just thinking that it was Machine Games' decision when they pitched the game to Disney. Oh yeah, because you'd have to talk to Disney, not Lucas, and be like, yeah, we're making a first-person Indiana Jones, and they were like, okay, cool, go for it.
At that point, I really think Disney was just happy that anyone wanted to make an Indiana Jones
I
game.
don't think Disney cares, man. I think
Yeah.
honestly, the last licensed Indiana Jones game was 2009, and then before that, 03.
I mean, to be honest, Disney are just handing out IP like candy at the moment. So I mean,
I don't care, man. The
Real
last,
quick, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dai.
I was
They
gonna
do
say
want their money.
the last entry in the IP for Indiana Jones wasn't good for Disney anyway. So
yeah.
Right.
See, Slow-Mo, Germany, who in the chat thinks I'm funny as hell. Thank you. Okay?
What?
Thank you. Because you
Got
know,
terrible taste.
you're so fucking rude. Oh my god. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, let's commend Guerrilla Games, because even though I think Horizon Snooze Fest is a snooze fest, that
Mhm.
is like a visually beautiful game, and it plays really, really well, especially for a
Agreed.
studio that was mostly doing first-person shooters. So I think they're very that's a talented studio,
Yep. I agree.
very
Big time.
talented studio. So yeah, go ahead.
I agree. They just need someone with RPG experience to guide them on how to make an RPG. You know?
that's why they got the GOAT Todd Howard, baby.
Wait, no, they
Oh,
don't.
he's talking about Gorilla. He's taking a
Oh,
shot.
Yeah, I'm
Gorilla.
talking about Gorilla.
Oh,
because,
Gorilla!
you know,
No, their side missions are great. Their main narrative is sci-fi slop at best, and
and that they don't know how to write for a main protagonist either.
Yeah, pacing wise. To be fair, on Gorilla's defense, Aloy being the way she is explained narratively, over explained narratively. Whether or not people care for that or anybody like me buys it, that's a totally different story. But they've taken a lot of good care to craft it to be the way it is, which is fine. But the side missions are definitely the best thing about Horizon Forbidden West. Like I said, the main narrative has just like destructive pacing issues. Like it's up one mission, down one mission, up one mission, down one mission. It's horrendous. The Las Vegas missions were great. And then everything else after that was just a slog. And I'm not entirely sure the cast helped that at all as well too.
There's only so much you can do with the script you're
there's
provided.
just really so much you can do, yeah. But the side missions are really, really good. So whoever wrote and did the side missions, I commend you, because I spent like 14 hours in the first section of the game just doing the side missions. Just because like the main mission was just so dreadful.
Lionel, you're 100% fucking correct, because if that had been a piece of ass to look at, I would have been like, yes, I will play these games. Yes.
And maybe that is why they make sexier characters, because they know they're writing some bunk, and they, hey, at least you could look at a nicely shaped polygon ass than you know.
That's the most deplorable sentence you said this entire night. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought the bar was low, but holy hell, man, you have just really said it. You know, maybe your old age is setting down on you. Maybe you can't tell what's real and what's not real anymore. These polygons are real to me.
Honestly, the casual sexism of the Gen Xers is something I very much enjoy. Shout out to Metrotron, got Hellblade 3, Hellblade that is, for $3 on Steam after seeing Hellblade 2. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yep.
And shout out to you for being a member. I appreciate you, my guy.
What I was actually thinking.
Oh, appreciate that, Ishii. I'm sorry, go ahead.
What they should do is fire the writing team of Guerrilla, hire the secondary team from Obsidian, and then smash the two studios together. Just let Guerrilla work on visuals and gameplay.
Wait, the secondary team for Obsidian, like the non-pillars team, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
The one that wrote the Outer Worlds, because that wasn't just Sawyer.
I thought it was good. I mean, it was a little
Dai,
slow in
you
the
saying
beginning.
deplorable is fucking hysterical. So disgusted.
I was on board until the last two words. I was like, brother, my brother in Christ. I was not with it, man. I was like, man, you know, I'm glad it's not your birthday. I can only imagine what you say on your birthday, brother.
Jeez,
Oh,
that's
man.
so fucking funny.
No, but it's like, you know, those two get together, then you would have a spectacular game. But, you know, one is missing one thing and one is missing the other. So, you know. Amen. Just saying. Putting out there in the ether.
Will it into existence, brother. I believe it.
Well, I mean, Sony needs to buy an RPG studio, and then their problems
They
will be
have plenty
solved.
of RPG studios. They have Insomniac games. If it's Insomniac
No,
games,
don't
brother.
do that.
We talk about that fucking Spider-Man,
Don't do
Spider-Man
that.
2
No.
story. Oh, I don't
Um,
want to get into it. I don't want to get into
Yeah,
it.
man.
Oh man. Fuck. Just buy EA and grab the Dragon
Huh?
Age team.
I mean, they're not
I
really
wouldn't.
what they were before, because let me tell you.
Right.
Well, I mean, Bioware might not be what they were before, but they could probably do a better RPG than Guerrilla. So
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I don't know at this
I
point.
don't know about
We're going to have to
that
wait
point.
until
Yeah.
next year for Dreadwolf. If you want a better RPG team, you might be looking at Archetype Entertainment, that's where all the core talent of Bioware went.
yeah.
And Exodus
Bi-
looks awesome.
By Larian,
are
dude.
you-
Larian is gigantic. Larian is not a small studio, brother.
What's
Yeah,
up,
Laren's
Luke?
like
What'd you say?
So,
a
sir,
minimum
Five,
200-300 developers. I
It's
sir,
think.
like
do you want to
500
join in on
developers.
this conversation
really?
about first
Dude, it's-
person
Yeah.
or
You had-
anything?
No, you asked everybody their opinions. You just didn't get to me yet. I just didn't
That's,
even
they,
add.
you know, not. I want to hear your thoughts, man, on this first person thing. I want you to jump in.
I mean, listen, to me, it's not a big deal. I just feel like in general, they made a decision that is best for them, and it just happens to go against the grain of what everybody would think this game would be. I won't tell people that they're wrong, because every game has been like this, but I feel like it's a good point that they're actually doing what they're good at, but then it's also going against the trend of what a game like this normally would be. So I can't say
what does a game have, like, what is a game like Indiana Jones supposed to be? I think that's what confuses me the most, right?
Well, this is the thing. It's not that it's Indiana Jones. Like I said, I can't be mad at people or upset or even, even just, take what they're saying and say, okay, your opinion doesn't matter on this because it's stupid. You can't say anything because because it's third person. I mean, the game itself is an action adventure game. On the face of it, most games, especially now, the majority of them that have a game like this would be traditionally in third person. That's not just because it's Indiana Jones, it's just the type of game that it is. And I understand that, but it still doesn't change the point that the developer made a decision to say, we're not doing that. It might be due to the fact that that's the type of studio they are when it comes to making first-person games, and they added some third-person elements. I'm just like Luca. I feel like, the parts that they did add in third person are good enough, and I feel like, and the thing is, as I was watching the trailer, the only time I felt like third person was like, okay, it needs to be in third person is when you do the hand-to-hand combat. And the only reason I think of that is because I always go back to Uncharted 3 when you're in the bar fight at the very beginning of the game. And I was like,
the bar fight was fire.
The bar fight was fire.
Very good intro. Very good.
Yeah,
intro.
very good intro. And I thought about it. I was like, and that's the only reason it popped. If it wasn't like something like that to contrast it against, I would have been like, oh, okay, this is all good. So the only time I saw like a point where I said, okay, I can see this part being the third person was the hand-to-hand combat size of it. Everything else, I'm like, everything else to me was perfectly fine. I had no problems with it. It went from second to third person, or from first to third person. Me and Slow-Mo, we even talked about it during DPS last week, where we were saying that it would have probably been really cool for them to toggle. Shout out to Attic. He said, the fact that they have the renders for the character in the game already, it's probably a good chance that they're already there. They just didn't unlock it to be in third person. It's probably just in first person the whole time. But they do have the character models there.
To the rescue.
Oh, yeah, mods. Yes, I'm saying at some point mods are gonna, if that's the case, and they pull that camera back, mods are gonna fix that for everybody on PC. But I just feel like this is a decision that they decided to make, and I'm not mad at it. But I do understand that people are a little kind of taken back by it because they were expecting something else. But I also think that's the biggest thing too. Nobody knew. I kept telling people nobody knows what this game's gonna be, and everybody got their hopes up that it was going to be something, and this is the one part of it they were hoping was going to be third person, and it ended up being first person. But I always tell people, once again, a lot of games that traditionally think about shooters, a lot of shooters were always in first person. But how do we get games like Gears of War that finally really, really pick up and they're in third person because they bucked the trend and was like, yo, this could be a first person game, but we think it's going to be better in first person because they like the aesthetic of seeing the character, the rodeo run and stuff like that, just the heavy girth of your character. And they wanted to show off and I also think that's part, they wanted to show off the graphics of the characters that they produced in the game. So that's why they went third person with it. But a lot of people probably wouldn't have scuffed that it'd be a first person when it first came out. So I just think it's an artistic
The thing is,
chance.
it's because Gears is done so well, and so really what it comes down
Exactly.
to is execution. If you can nail it,
but
no
Gears
one's going to
is
care.
a totally different game. So
It's
is
a
Uncharted.
Yeah,
right?
they're all,
like,
and that's what I said, they're all different games.
Indy's a hand-to-hand kind of like limited ammo stealth action game, right? I mean, if you want to play a stealth action game in the third person, I mean, sure, I guess, right? Like, I don't think it would benefit it much.
Well, think
being
about
in
games
third.
like Prey and Dishonored. They were in first person.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Chronicles of Riddick. That was a straight up melee game almost. So there's games out there. I just think that's the reason I said I think it's just the fact that everybody, and I hate to say it, people equate quality to what Uncharted is, to
which is great. It's one of the best-selling franchises
exactly what Last of Us is.
Why wouldn't you want it?
What God of War is, because
like,
those are the things that people are used to seeing when it comes to an action adventure type game.
That's what I'm saying. Action adventure, people pigeonhole it into being like, oh, you can only do this. But like some of the best action adventure games have been first person. I look at Myst, right? Like, come on now, guys.
Well, I mean, what else?
Yeah. So
no, what other game?
What you have Dishonored is an action adventure game. It's a stealth action adventure game. What you got? Prey.
I thought that
stealth
was
action.
Immersive sim. That I wouldn't. I guess when I think action adventure, I'm thinking something that's a bit less like
Red Faction is an action adventure game. The original 1 and 2, not Guerrilla and Armageddon. I mean, basically built Visceral Games.
As y'all know, I do love me some Dishonored. So, I just want you to name some examples to give people an idea of what could be great. And I as well.
I mean, it's mostly older stuff. I don't think there's anything that.
Oh, what about Dying Light?
Like Thief. Like Thief is, is an older IP as well too. I mean, not the new one in 2013. That one.
No, that thing was horrible. But that's
a good example. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I say I think it's just the recency bias of the last decade and a half of the games that stand out the most when it comes to like action adventure are the games that are in third person. So everybody not everybody, but the majority of people, when they see an action adventure game, they look at it as, oh, this is the way it should be, versus like what those games could have been back, long back in the day. And like I said, the main reason that a lot of these games went third person like that was mostly to show off the character models. Like they wanted to show how great their character models looked. And that was an easy way to do it. And then you had games like Gears of War that came out and like knocked it out of the park and made it like, oh, we could actually make a game that has, gunplay or melee damage or anything like that. We can actually make a game like that really, really stand out and be successful. And that has kind of been the overall formula ever since the 360 generation. The majority of the games are like that.
I'm going to name a few action adventure games I think benefited from being in third person. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy that came out about 3 years ago. I couldn't imagine playing that game in first person perspective. I thought going third person for Eidos Montreal was perfect. Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. Can't imagine playing those games. I can imagine playing those a little bit in first person, but I think the way Rockstar's quality and cinematics and in that presentation is they're above reproach when it comes to that. Ghost of Tsushima, Shadow of the Colossus, Control. Ain't no way I'm doing all that floating around and all that stuff and all those powers in first person. I think it worked way better in third person perspective. The Spider-Man games, people want to see Spider-Man. They don't want to see Spider-Man's red webbed fingers popping out and webbing stuff. The Witcher games, those are RPGs, but still, Hogwarts Legacy came out last year, most popular game last year. Sold the most. That one, third person perspective. Go ahead,
I'm
Luca.
trying to understand. I mean, what is okay, what point are you trying to make? Because there's plenty of great first person perspective games too.
What point am I trying to make? We were literally just talking about
like
there's great first person games, so I'm just mentioning great third person perspective games.
Just in general.
That's fine. Yeah. But you know, like I said, the majority of like the first person adventure genre is like it's a very old thing. Like Obsidian's, I think one of Obsidian's first games, Rocket Science in '97, is a missed clone. Like they started their studio to make a clone of a very popular first person adventure game, and that's, I mean, obviously Obsidian is owned by Xbox now. I think that people are kind of, I think recency bias is probably the good word for it, right? Like people are like, oh yeah, this is how they expect it from the last 50, especially the last 15 years, probably even 20 now. I think Tomb Raider is a little over 20 years old. So for the last 20 years, I can totally understand it being like a third person, like action adventure genre, especially with like the platforming mascot boom of the early 2000s. But the early parts of the industry, especially into the 80s and 90s, was first person adventure games, and indie being something out of the 80s. I think it's just fitting, you know, especially since it's not like a heavy like shooting game. I think it just wouldn't benefit the game much to be like a third person like stealth game. I think that would be pretty generic. And I say that in the best way, right? Like it would be the safest approach to make it a third person. Everybody expects it. It's already like a popular mechanical trope among the genre. But I mean, you have, like I said, you have a lot of good first person adventure games that, you know, the Xbox, what's it called, umbrella has been doing for the last 20 years. I mean, look at Skyrim, right? One of the best selling games of all time.
Xbox umbrella with Skyrim. All right. I just want to clarify, Slomo. The reason I asked is because I just wanted to understand where you were coming from. Because the reason I had asked Dai to give some examples was because people are questioning the validity of having it in first person versus third. So I wanted him to give examples of good first person games, because in my opinion, I don't think anyone is questioning a game, like games that are good in third person. And that's why I was
I missed that part.
Yeah, right. That's why I was confused.
Which is why I always said it's like a safe approach, right? Because like nobody's gonna think anything different. Like Indiana Jones in the third person, like we all expected that.
Yeah, I do think that this is it's not a new debate, first person versus third person for a particular game, because we see it crop up pretty often, like we mentioned earlier with Cyberpunk, but also with Resident Evil. So remember when Resident Evil 7
went first person for the first time in the franchise.
Right, yes. Yeah, there was a ton of Resident Evil fans that hated it, and then they played it and was like, oh, that was really scary. Right. They was like, oh, that was really scary. That worked. And then even when they did the VR mode, you know, and they didn't get sick, that they enjoyed it, and it was, and they thought it was super scary. So I think it really comes down to execution. And and people will have preferences, but
same thing with the Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 5, right? Like they have first person modes, like officially supported first person modes. You can play the entire game first person, and everybody was like, oh, that's gonna suck. And then, you know, a lot of people play it like that. And a lot
I did forget that it had first person mode.
And a lot of people rank it like very well, right? A lot of people are like, actually, no, this game really plays really well in first person, despite it being originally and always a third person, action adventure, role playing sim game.
All right, shout out to No Envy Gaming, who's been a member for 38 months, saying, "What's up, Scumcast? What's up, baby? Appreciate you. Appreciate all my channel members. Thank you guys so much. What's up, Sir Duck? Saying K-Paso Scumbuckets. K-Paso Scumbuckets. Anyway, so I want to read Ryan McCaffrey's tweet, where Mr. McCaffrey was like, not only is Machine Games' entire history and expertise in making first-person games, but if they had made Indiana Jones entirely in third person, the discourse would be absolutely toxic today, with Sony fanboys downvoting and comment bombing the trailer, calling it an Uncharted clone. Yes, he is correct about that, but I don't think that you should base how you... I don't think do developers base how they make games based on like the words of people in the niche fandom? Or...
Not really. I mean,
Yeah,
that's part
so-
of the, that's part of like product management and KPI. That's more like the business. That's like the suit stuff,
Yeah. And allow me to
yeah.
elaborate when I say niche fandom. I'm not referring to the PlayStation fan base as a whole. I'm talking about like ponies.
The people on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about the people on Twitter. I'm talking about fanboys. Like, I'm thinking about the crossplay discourse that had happened years prior, and how they fucking reversed that shit expeditiously. I cannot remember what game it was for though. Like, bitch, I don't fucking remember. But like how people were saying, like, we don't need crossplay, we don't need cross save. Fuck that shit. Like that was a conversation that people were having in our drama community. But it's like, no, more developers started going towards that, because it's like, no, the general audience likes stuff like that. So however we may feel in this very niche fandom and community that we're in is it's not completely inconsequential. But if we are not saying and reflecting what the general masses think, that what we say and think doesn't really fucking matter to these developers. And so I think Ryan has spent far too much time getting verbally accosted on social media.
way too much time.
He's been verbally accosted so many times that his thought process is centered around how
fanboys or what
fanboys will react. You know what I'm saying? And I don't blame him, because if you were consistently verbally accosted, whether or not, because he's had opinions I agree with, he's had opinions I disagree with. Ask me what they are, I can't fucking remember, but I do remember I've agreed and disagreed with him, right? I do think that if you spend too much time in this fandom, it starts to warp your perspective. And I say that as someone whose perspective was warped, Well, only my first year.
Gently, I guess. Gently.
My first year I was pretty fucking, I had to delete the evidence of my botting behavior. It was pretty bad. But outside of that, like, generally speaking, I think I've been fine. But, like, I get accusations of pony and bot all the time, and I welcome them. I fucking welcome it, right? But anyway, what I'm saying is, I do think that his tweet is very much focused on how the community would respond, our community versus like, But you never know. I guess you never really know.
I've seen a lot of people kind of echo the things that he said, but I agree with you. I think they're all just too focused on what fanboys think, and I don't think developers give a crap what the small minority of people who would play the game I think they care more about what they think their vision is and what will work on a grander scale than that. So,
sometimes developers develop, and shout out to Ronald saying game enthusiasts really think they're the majority. Exactly. Sometimes developers, they could actually perhaps benefit from listening to their fan base. But other times it's kind of like, but then again, I'm thinking about like when it comes to people speaking out, if it's like, I really think it was a lot of people who were like, hey, we want Saints Row to go back to being like Saints Row. We don't want that goofy, silly shit. Why doesn't Carlos have a shirt on? Like no one wanted that, right? Like Saints Row fans didn't want that, but they heard that shit and they were just like, we're going to do what we want. And they did what they wanted, and it didn't work out for the game, unfortunately,
and now they all, yeah.
So it's one of those things where it can backfire if you're not listening to the right people. But at the same time, you also got to be mindful And so I also wanted to play this clip with Mr. John Campia. Now, let me tell you something. I think he said, didn't he say some racist shit? I can't fucking remember. I wish All Day was here.
No
'Cause
idea.
I remember us talking about it.
This
But I
is
used to
a
listen to
hilarious
John
clip.
Campia all the time. But then I heard a clip of him saying something super spooky. If someone knows what I'm referring to, like, let me know. But I'm gonna play this clip of Mr. Campia, and
It's hilarious.
Two things. One, I'm kind of bummed out about. One, I really think is something that some people are making a big deal out of that they absolutely should not be making a big deal out of. Number one, I was very bummed out to find out this was an Xbox exclusive. I guess other people knew that already.
No, I was very sad about
Because
that.
Bethesda's owned by Microsoft.
Yeah,
so.
which makes sense. But
Sure.
I want it on my
Xbox
PS5.
console.
Still bums
That's
me
true.
out.
You can stream
You don't
it.
need an Xbox console. It's
Yeah.
on Game Pass day one.
Yeah,
But
you
I
can,
don't
you can
want to
stream
play
it.
it on a PC.
I want to try it on my
You don't have
PlayStation.
to. You can play it on just your internet. Yeah. On
Yeah,
your-
I
whatever,
still,
on your phone.
I want to play it on my.
Ray, I spent
PlayStation.
so much
I'm
money.
bummed out about
I
it.
spent so
Fine.
much money.
I'm just saying I'm bummed out about it, right? That's fine. It's fine. Okay, it's fine.
You know what? I'm sure Xbox
open up your pocketbooks, baby. You can afford it. All right. You want to play
Exactly.
shit on fucking Xbox? You got to play it on Xbox. All right. They're not doing that third party shit yet. Okay. It's all Xbox all the time right now. Mr. Campia and random chick who was doing the whole whining thing because she thinks it makes her sound cute.
Oh man.
As someone
Well,
who's
maybe
done
that's
that
just
before,
her voice.
That is definitely not her fucking
That is
voice.
definitely
Okay,
that,
I know,
bro.
I
That
know,
was,
I know.
that
I'm just,
was
I'm
an
trying to give
act,
her the
bro.
benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. My bad. Go
Nah, don't let it out.
ahead. But no, you're right. Look, I will
wow.
repeat what
Sorry,
people on the other side used to say years ago. When they used to say, "Just buy a PlayStation, just buy an Xbox." You know, when Final Fantasy VII Remake was only on PlayStation, and the Xbox guys was like, "What about us?" And all of y'all was like, "Shut up, stop crying, and go buy an Xbox." Well, shut up, stop crying, John Campia, and go buy an Xbox. They were $150 off a month ago. You had an ample opportunity to get one on a good deal.
I think
wanna
one
make sure
was
you play the game?
$150. I don't even
Hmm?
think it was $150 off. I think one was actually $150.
Yeah, the Series S was. Yeah, I'm talking about the Series X was $150
Series S is all you need,
off.
brother. That's all you need,
All
man.
right.
Yeah.
So
sure,
Oh,
yeah.
some games on
Oh,
PlayStation.
for
were
sure,
different.
for sure.
We want
Yeah,
a
but
lot
that's
of
your
games.
fault for being a second-class citizen.
Oh,
So,
whoa.
I have
Whoa.
Whoa, shots
I have
fired.
Whoa, what?
Hey.
man, it's really giving Gen X humor mentality because this shit is not funny.
I
I'd like
have
to
dual
thank everyone.
citizenship. Thank you very much.
That's just me, you know. Like they think they're so funny and quirky. It's
Did
so
he
funny.
say that to
I'd
the
like to thank
That's
minority?
nice.
Did he
who's
just
supporting
did he just
Be
say
like that,
call
brother.
him a second?
me throughout
Wow.
my journey
Like
here
that,
at
like that,
John
you know.
Triple
Campia.
citizenship because I have Switch. So
Okay, but
Oh shit! I didn't even consider that aspect of it. Well,
It's the ye old I know this guy, so I'm just gonna say what I normally say to him, like behind closed doors in public.
I'm
and I
trying to
don't-
think of if I
I don't
have
care
any
what it's
friendships where
framed
we
as.
make race jokes, but you know, not that that's not what he did. That's not what he did. But you know, someone makes a good point. I
wild
didn't even
shit.
think about it like that.
here's the part
That's some wild
that,
stuff.
like I just
mean,
see
he
angry
immediately knew,
people
right?
online over something really ridiculously trivial.
So maybe he was being facetious. You know, maybe you got to watch the full clip and full podcast. I can't say. I feel like this is within line of his personality because, like I said before, I used to watch John Campia like all the time. So I think this is in line with his personality. So I'm not 100%. You know, you never know when it comes to clips. Like they could be taken out of context. You know what I'm saying? So he could be.
I just find it hilarious. And it's like, I want to play it on my PlayStation. And then the guy's like, yeah, we want to play stuff on Xbox too. And then that's when he comes in with the second class citizen line. And it's like, well, how about you stop port begging and you go.
Hey, yo. Yes,
Yo.
sir. I bet you were waiting for that one.
Oh,
Like-
okay. So
Yeah.
John Campia, he did say some racist shit. Okay. I knew I wasn't fucking crazy. I had to look that shit up. I was like, hold on. Hold on, let me just make sure I'm not going crazy. Yeah, I stopped listening to him because he said something fucking insane. So, that uncomfortable. Yeah, whenever, it doesn't happen. I mean, listen, what similar jokes? Name a time where I have made a similar joke to that. So anyway, shout out to 3-Bit saying basically what I discussed with the mentality of most journalism with my Xbox text posts. Very interesting to see in real life, though. The standardization issue comes with PlayStation being the more popular console and the casual market getting a huge sense of entitlement. I can't say that I agree or disagree with that. What do you guys think? Do I think ponies are entitled? Yes. I'm sorry.
Oh, I mean, the hilarious thing is a lot of people, they're excited about. This also ties into the whole third party reasoning and whatnot, and it makes me laugh because since like 2015, Xbox has no games. Then it went to Xbox
Which is
games
true.
are trash.
That was
Yeah,
true.
It was true.
They
It was
didn't have
true.
any games.
It didn't have
That
any
was
yeah,
true. Right.
Xbox didn't have any games, and then it was the Xbox games are trash.
I mean,
Which was
Crackdown
also
3 was kind of
I-
tough.
I'm not
buddy,
going
and,
to say objectively. I will
Crackdown
say
3 was kind of tough.
that it was kind of
Critically.
rough. It was
It
looking
wa-
kind of spooky. All right, I'm
it
not going to
was.
fucking lie.
But now
Okay.
they finally got their stuff in order, and this was also when they were buying all these things. I said this. Like, they will eventually have to unload the clip. When they unload the clip,
Yeah.
people on PlayStation will have to feel what everyone felt last gen, where it's like all these games skipping your platform. And then you just have to turn around and go, well, just buy an Xbox. I mean, apparently you all have gaming PCs. You said that for like the past 10 years.
true,
You
they
have
should just be
PCs,
able
so
to
you
play on
don't need an
PCs.
Xbox.
Yeah,
Yeah,
indeed.
you don't need an Xbox. You got a PC, right? I mean,
Mhm.
what happened to your PC?
Yeah, what's happened to your monster PC? Because that's
Yeah.
what people were saying, that they had beasts.
It's still in pieces because they
Oh, okay.
haven't bought it yet,
Assembled
or
it.
it's just still in the store. They're just looking at it on in their save cart
It's the
at
demo.
Micro Center.
No, it's the demo that they're playing at Best Buy. All right, they're on their the
Right.
browser.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this monitor's sick.
They got GeForce now. That's their PC.
Yeah. What's up? Back from the dead. How's it going, buddy? What's up, Texas? Albert, good to see you. One of my favorite ponies in the chat. Duke Togo saying Series S is super cheap now too, like $200. If they don't want to play indie through cloud PC or handhelds like ROG and Steam Deck, they always have that option. They should just save up and buy a Series X, okay? Like, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. That Series S is good for what it's good for. You know,
Series S is great. I mean, that's all you need, man. If you just want to
Yes.
play Xbox games, that's all you need. It's less than $200 some days.
Yes. So yeah, I'm someone who says you should take, if you can, if it's in your budget, I would say just save up. If it's something you actually want to play, because for me personally, if it's a game I want to play, I'm gonna play it. Like, I will buy the platform I need in order to play it, and that's just me. Like, but it's only for games like I genuinely like feel deeply towards. You know what I'm saying? So. Yeah. Okay. I think that's it. Did anything else happen this week? I'm sure some other things happen. Let me just go ahead and unlike these, get these out of my fucking bookmarks. I don't want that shit. Reforge Gaming. Somebody like was saying some crazy shit about him at like a publication, right? And at first I was like, oh, this is funny, but then it started getting spooky. Then it started getting super spooky, right? And they like mentioned him like beating his wife or something, which is not true. And like the person who said that ended up getting fired from the publication they were a part of, because it's
Crazy
like, well,
times.
you clearly don't want that, like like we don't want that shit. Like, we don't stand for stuff like that, which you shouldn't, because I think it's insane to say things like that unprompted. Like, it'd be one thing if he actually did it, but like he's not done that, you know? And I honestly think like Reforge, I think Lono's an asshole. And I thought
He
Lono was
is.
an asshole for a very long time. despite his assholish tendencies, I actually used to watch his Destiny streams on Twitch before he was banned. I would watch his morning streams because I was like, sometimes he had perspectives. I was like, yes, I agree with you. Other times I was like, okay, I don't know, right? But Lono's an asshole. He has been an asshole. He's always been an asshole. That's not going to change. Those accusations came out, and that is what it is, right? So, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find this. I'm trying to fucking find this post because I know someone has to have a screenshot of it, right? But yeah.
I think they deleted it. The publication deleted it after they made their public apology to him.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think okay, that makes sense. I think that going as far to say like he beats his wife unprompted, it just shows like a bias. Like they just don't like him as a person. And it's fine if you don't like someone, but I do think it's vile to bring up wives.
Yeah, you can't make up crimes about someone just because you don't like them.
Yeah. So
that's a crime. You're accusing and that's like he could have taken legal action against them. And since no one knows who the heck that publication is, he could probably have them shut down pretty quickly, considering that like the only time anyone even knew they existed is when they started arguing with him. Which, ironically, since they were really going in on him because they're claiming he's just a YouTuber, so why would anyone, be giving him any real information? But like,
I mean, people give YouTubers stuff all the time.
True, and it's like you're just a gaming media publication no one's ever heard of. So who is actually talking to you too? So it's just very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Consistently an asshole, Lino. But go ahead.
I was just going to say, anyone try Palworld? Because as of 30 minutes ago, it's now done 3 million copies sold in 40 hours. Which,
damn, that's a lot.
Yo, this game is a de facto Xbox console exclusive.
Huh? Is this what people were saying was...
Yeah. What?
Oh, this looks fun.
It's like a more realistic version of
with guns.
Pokemon.
Yeah, this is the one where you can like capture Pokemon and turn them into like coal miners, right?
Yes. From my
as well as humans, human beings.
The thing is, because I'm currently playing it, I'll just quick thing on my setup, right? So I got it where you can breed Pokemon, breed the pals. Whoops.
Can you breed the humans too? Like real slavery?
Whoa.
But
no, this isn't real. This
no.
Like digital Mo. Like,
yeah.
Right. Well, anyway. They added human slavery in there, so I just wondered how far they went. That's all.
Not on the week of Tubman Tuesday, brother. Like, come on now. Come on now. Try it again next week, brother. I'm not gonna let you disrespect a national holiday.
Good Thursday week. You right?
The thing is, labor laws don't exist in Palworld, thankfully. So I've developed.
Thankfully.
Because you could build a control tower which orders your pals if they need to be balanced or if you want to overwork them. So I slammed it on overwork because who cares?
Are you making a work camp?
Yes, I am, because I got production lines and farms and mining pits and level camps. Yeah, and so I set them all to it, and then what I've done is. They make eggs, incubate the eggs, right? And then if it doesn't have a desired trait, I kill them and then feed them to the workers. So they're eating their own kind, which is kind of crazy, but it's a quick way of getting easy food. So if I don't like them, I'll just kill them.
What dystopian fucking game is this?
This is the reality of our world, where it's kind of your moral compass goes out the window because you got to do what you got to do.
Does it need to though?
Well, I mean, you could play it as fancy, but then you're gonna have to spend all the time mining. Look, who would you rather be exploring the world and letting your minions do all the mining for you, all the menial tasks, Or would you want to be going out there mining some rocks or trees or, just gathering berries? You'd want to be
I
doing
kind of
that.
find all of that not very interesting,
I'm
so I
gonna keep it
wouldn't want
real,
to do any of
Singer.
it. But
I'm gonna keep it real, Singer. You
gonna
after you
invade
told me
Poland
what you do in that one game, what is this?
Crusader Kings 3. Yes.
Yeah, like Crusaders yeah, that after you explained in detail what you do in that game, I'm just like, well, this perspective you have is not a surprise to me. So we can just move on from that. I'll check out the game, and I'll get these.
I respect your digital world of running a large corporation, but you could just play
Brutal
Zoo Tycoon, brother.
industrialism. It is brutal
Right, it's-
industrialism.
yeah,
but
yep.
but the thing is,
is there a
words.
particular word that you force your pals to call you? Is it
Or do you call them? Or
absolutely.
do you call them?
No,
a
no,
specific
no,
word, you know what I
no,
mean?
no. You don't call them. As long as you provide them a bed and some food, they'll happily
It's
work.
just one bag of chips a day.
And
Right?
That's not crazy.
actually, and actually,
Oh,
I
they'll
treat my
happily work
workers.
for that. Wow.
No.
Well, they don't have a choice, right?
I treat my workers well. I
You
built them
treat
some
your
hot
slaves
springs.
well. Interesting.
Mm.
No, I
All
call
right,
them
Thomas
workers,
Jefferson.
and I.
Oh, because it's not demeaning if you just call them something less demeaning.
Well,
Okay,
no, they're
good,
not called
continue.
slaves anymore, Mo. They're called indentured servants.
Ah, yeah.
Okay, so anyway, we can just move on from that. So shout out to Ronald saying, since you are the ageist queen, do you think Gen Z is aging like milk? I personally grew out my hair and beard to look older. I remember this lady on my college tour said that I reminded her of her high school son. She was shocked to learn that I was in my 30s. So I think that like in every generation, there are some people who will look older and some people who will look younger. I do think that the way you dress and the way you express yourself can give people an idea of your age, whether it's false or not, right? Like there was this video of this chick, and she's like 21, right? But like the way she was dressed and the way she had her makeup and the way she styled her hair, people thought she was like in her 30s, right? So I definitely think that plays an impact. That has an impact on that kind of stuff. So I've seen some people who are in my age range who definitely look older, and I've seen people who are younger than me who look older. So I think it really depends. As a Black woman, Black don't crack, okay?
You don't?
In some instances, and we're gonna look at one where it did. Okay, so
Huh?
okay, so guys, how old do you think this man is? He's just gonna start talking.
Mainly because of the stress. Come here. We live in a time nowadays where millennials look way younger for their age, while Gen Z looks way older for their age. If you don't believe me, I'm Gen Z.
Okay.
He said I look old as hell.
Now, okay, let's start with how he could help himself. This jacket is giving old man. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's
Like
giving
this shirt? What the
Yes.
fuck is
grandma's
this?
couch.
Man, he dressed it like he
Like looking like he
left the
looks
retirement
super old.
home.
He looks
He's
super
dressing
old.
like he helped build the railroad pipeline to go from the East Coast to
He
California.
does actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
His wrinkles, like the way it's not even wrinkles, the way he's like whatever he's fucking doing with his forehead makes him look older. His beard,
He's living. That's what he's doing with his
Yeah, he's
forehead.
living. His forehead is living. He's
way-
still alive.
the way he has his hair styled makes him look all of this makes him look older than he is, right? Like he's like 20.
He said he was 26, which I don't believe.
Time nowadays where millennials look way younger for their age, while Gen Z looks way older for their age. If you don't believe me,
Oh, man.
I'm Gen Z.
You hear how he said that? I'm Gen Z. There's a quiver to his voice that only old men have. Old men who've seen a lot and been through a lot. They have that quiver to their voice. They just trying to hold on a little longer, one more day. And he's got that. He's got that look in his eye too. He's got that look like, y'all ain't got no idea what real slavery is. I've been through it.
Good God.
Let me take
bro.
my shirt off and I'll show you the scars on my back kind of look. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's different. So yeah,
Oh man, my man, he didn't live the full life.
Yeah, like he looks older.
The public people think that my
It looks
mom
like he's
is
got
my
maybe
younger
gray in his
sister.
beard. I don't know, man.
Right. When I tell people, oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my family, they think I'm talking about my children. I don't have kids, right? I'm talking about my parents. I'm still the child.
He look like
Does
he
that
got
make
some
sense?
gray
I'll
beard
put
and
it to you
everything.
this.
Like he said, the outline of
Zendaya
that
is
beard look a
older
little
than
gray. He'd have been through
Tom
some stuff.
Holland is older than me.
he could get a haircut
You know what I'm
too.
saying right now? There's one
Yeah.
Before
time
do this
I was
video,
on-
like get a haircut, get that shape up done. You know, try to make yourself look a little younger.
I will.
You know,
Right.
I always tell people like when you like even
he
for
definitely
myself,
got gray. He's got gray in that beard. A lot.
yeah,
It's a
it's
lot of
gray
gray
in
in
that
that beard.
Listen,
Yeah.
man, I know when I look like I'm 40 years old when I don't cut my hair, but the moment I cut my hair and get myself lined up and everything, it instantly shaves like 10 years or 5 to 10 years off your life. It's like the way you look. It's like you
15
look
even,
younger. It's like the fact that this man literally, like his beard and his hair are literally the same length.
Hey, yo.
It's like, yo, at a certain point, you gonna look like an old man. It's like
Yeah.
you know what? He
He's
literally
not doing
made
himself any favors.
listen, he literally made this video and waited to cut his hair so he could make this point, and then he probably finally cut his hair, and now he looks younger again.
I don't know, man. I think he seems very emotional about his thoughts and why Gen Z, not him, but Gen Z.
Hey,
Well,
man,
that lack of edge work is the reason why they make hats, brother.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
Listen, man,
Right.
better go
So-
over
You ain't
this
got it
deal.
lined up. You cover it up.
Yeah, people depending on my setting, like if I'm at a bar that only had, well, obviously 21 up, right? So people are like, I met these two girls at a bar during Christmas, and we actually hung out last week. They're fucking awesome, right? But
Facts.
one of them was just like, yeah, when you came to sit down with us, I was like, oh God, I hope she's not 21. And like, so yeah,
Oh, please don't be
she's
too
like,
young.
please do not be 21. Please be older. So like that is the youngest I'll get in the settings that I'm in, basically. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't
look good.
feel like I'm being delusional when I say I look younger, right? Like
No, you do look very young.
Like
Yeah,
But
you do.
but
24.
that guy in particular just looks really old, and I still don't believe he's really 26.
Yeah, like he looks
Until-
like
yeah.
he looks like he could play Lawrence Fishburne's, like if they did a remake of Hoodlum, right? He could play Lawrence Fishburne. He could play Bobby Johnson.
That's funny. Hey, look, I'm 43. I just turned 43 for yesterday, and I know Luca has seen me. Most people haven't seen me before, but I look younger than him. And you should
he
not.
does, yeah.
If you're really 26 years old, you should not be looking older than someone who's 43. Like that, there's some things that you. Now, and I don't know if he needs like a skincare routine or something. I don't know. Like,
Honestly, he just needs to
shave the
change his
beard.
clothing and shave. Yeah.
Yeah, shave, get a haircut, wear something that's more age appropriate. Don't wear something that you got from your grandparents. And I think people will be like, okay, he look like he's in his 30s now.
Basically, put some color in your life, and you'll be a lot better off.
Yeah, because I think he sounds younger when he's not
No,
stuttering.
No, he
you
sounds
hear
like
his
he,
voice?
that gravitas. Like I am.
When he
He sound like he growling as he talking.
You know what? If he started narrating some like movie, it would make perfect sense. If he was like a narrator of a movie or something. Because he's old and wise, voice, like that quiver in his voice had me like, bruh, come on, man. Ain't no way you 26. What have you been through?
Man, I thought he was like
fighting for his life.
I thought
his
he
whole
was
life.
I thought he was like J. Earl Jones' younger brother, just a little bit younger. I was sitting there like, yo, bro, you look young. You look like a younger James Earl. What you talking with that gravitas in his
With
voice?
that gravitas. I like that
And
thing.
James Earl Jones is in his 90s.
In his 90s. So
Oh,
that's what
yeah.
I'm saying. He looked like a younger James Earl Jones.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to that
Leaky
brother.
says, give him Jonathan Major's hat. Right.
No,
and
like
that's the
literally,
wild
'cause
thing.
honestly, was he not dressing just like a fucking
yeah, the
newsboy?
little-
Like
He
exactly.
was.
The corduroy hat, yeah.
Oh my
But
god.
even then, like, Jonathan Majors doesn't look like he's in his 50s because he dresses like a guy that's in his 50s, right?
No, he
Right.
doesn't.
He just looks goofy because he's wearing clothes that don't really like match the age. And it's like this guy, like, he needs some work. He needs some help. Someone needs to just, pull him aside and be like, "Let's look. We're gonna go to the barber shop. We're gonna hit up a mall or something, man. We're gonna hook you up, bro."
Man.
All right,
That's
but
wild, bro.
okay, so thanks Ronald. Shout out to No Envy Gaming saying thoughts on Brick Lady getting charged with felony theft by scamming people after fabricating a brick attack. Frankly, I think she got what she deserves. All right, so I've been seeing some strange posts on social media. We're gonna take a look at the article and then we'll look at one of the posts at least. So, woman known as Brick Lady, charged in Houston after being accused of making whole thing up, raising $42,000 on GoFundMe. Right. So, a woman who went viral on social media after making claims a man assaulted her with a brick outside a Houston club is now accused of raising tens of thousands of dollars in a GoFundMe scam. Rhoda Osman, 33, has been charged with felony theft by deception. According to the charging documents, Osman raised at least $40,000 through fraudulent GoFundMe page she started in September that claimed she was a victim of a similar attack more than 3 years ago. So this, if you guys don't know what we're referring to, we talked about this, right?
We did talk about it, and I think we
talk
actually
about it on the
discussed.
show, or did we talk about
We
it?
talked about it on the show, and I think we also actually discussed whether we thought it was real or not.
Yeah. So on September 3rd, Houston police officers responded to aggravated assault incident. They met Osman and her female friend. During the investigation, officers reported that Osman was intoxicated, hostile, and irate. In the original police report made at the scene, Osman claimed that she was walking out of Schumacher Lane where an unknown man threw a brick at her when she would not give him her phone number, court documents show. She also told officers she had ordered an Uber and believed the brick throwing suspect was the Uber driver. Osman says she got into the car with him where he then tried... Oh, the story does sound... This doesn't sound a little weird.
Yeah.
Just a hair.
Because why would you get in the car with him? Okay. Anyway, so Osman says she got into the car with him when he tried to kidnap her. According to documents, Osman stated the suspect was involved in human trafficking and had a large group of women in the car with him.
How big was this car?
Aren't you?
I was going to say the same thing.
Wait a second.
You show up in a minivan?
Yeah, that's a minivan.
If you're
right.
doing like Uber and you're splitting it between, it's only supposed to be split between like 3 people. You know what I'm saying? So
you can get 8 people in those XLs.
But I think it depends on what kind of car. Why would she order an XL if it's just her and her friend, right?
Might have been the only thing available.
Some people got
That's
it like
not.
that.
Come on now. Come on.
I know what you mean. I'm just
Is the only Uber available in XL? Please be serious. I've taken Ubers in the middle of the night.
Leaky in the chat said something that I said to you earlier today, Luca, or whenever we talked about this week. Brick didn't break no skin on her face, kind of shady. That's the same thing I said, because I've seen somebody get hit with a brick before. It definitely broke skin. It was definitely blood. So yeah, I'm not saying every brick in every face is the same, but I have a hard time believing she got hit in the head with a brick and she didn't like
break
she didn't see it coming, and it didn't break skin. And then I think I even said this when we first talked about it before. Her face was definitely swollen. I think she had an allergic reaction. That looked like to me like an allergic reaction and not like getting hit in the head with a brick.
So yeah, you guys can see.
Yeah, it's just swollen with no mark, no point of impact, no blood. Yeah, some people who have allergies.
Wouldn't there be damage to her teeth as well if she got hit with a brick?
Yeah. Yeah, well, it depends on where it was supposedly had impacted. But if it's like the temple or the side of the head, point of impact should have had like dust from the brick or something. Like dirt or something on her. It's just swollen. It's a swollen head. Like if she's allergic to bananas and she just put a banana on the side of her head for like 5 minutes and then took it off and said,
Lord.
"Oh my God, somebody hit me with a brick!" Like,
So a follow-up investigation began. On September 15th, detectives tried to reach Osmond, but the number she provided was her friend's number, who was also at the scene when the incident was reported. The friend said she was not from Houston and went out to several places to drink with Osmond. She said Osmond repeatedly called her male friends to come pick them up. When the men arrived, Osmond and the friend got into the car. So it wasn't an Uber driver, it was a male friend, right? Which was a dark colored sedan. The woman told investigators that she got into the right front passenger seat and Osmond in the back seat with another man. As they were driving, she reportedly heard Osmond yell, "Ouch, why did you hit me?" but stated that she did not hear an argument before she heard Osmond yell. So Osmond's friend further details the incident. The friend stated off the record that she did not believe Osmond was hit with a brick, according to the charging documents. The friend told documents the suspect who allegedly assaulted Osmond got out of their vehicle, got into another vehicle, and drove off. She said Osmond went live on Instagram and that she tried to convince Osmond to call the police. The friend said she did not know who the two men she got into the car with were and would not be able to positively identify the suspect. So Osmond gives a statement to detectives after finally making contact with them on September 19th. She told the detectives that her friend came to pick, club. They went out to a club. She called an Uber. Osmond thought it was the Uber she called and she got inside. She told detectives suspects hit her with a brick. She did her own investigation, found that the guy was named Olean Douglas. When Osmond was asked where her friend was at the time, she reportedly became upset and said her friend was far away while she was talking to another guy. Osmond then changed her story to say she was assaulted at a different club after more question, or perhaps the same club, but in different circumstances. After more questioning from the Houston police, Osmond became upset, asked to speak with the detective supervisor, and hung up. Surveillance tells a different story, right? So, police actually doing their job.
Shocking.
All right, so the dude she identified, Olan Douglas, was identified, right? They were talking to each other. They went to the club together. The trio walked outside, then walked towards a white Maserati. Douglas was reportedly seen leaning on the right front passenger, whatever. They all four got into the car. Douglas got into the back. They also got out. Getting out of the back. Okay, Osmond and Douglas were in an argument. Douglas reportedly swung his right hand while holding what appeared to be a plastic bottle and struck Osmond in the face. Okay, so according to detectives said that Osmond then sat in the front seat of the vehicle while Douglas stepped away from her. He reportedly got into the back seat of the Audi A3 that pulled up. She got out of the car. Okay, so the surveillance. Okay, it says the charging documents. It doesn't say the surveillance says. Is this all together, right? Guys?
So you said, is it what you mean all together?
Yeah, like, is this, it's all under the surveillance video tells another story. Did they see on video her being hit? Or is it just like in the documents being charged?
I think it's just the documents because they started with according to charging documents. So
okay, all right. Yeah. So her story went viral, right? GoFundMe was created. The account raised $42,000. Okay. It stated she was attacked by a black man, and because she declined to give him her phone number. Okay, viral videos. Okay, TikToker provides police information on Osmond's false claims, past alleged scams. Okay. So they got a call from Daphne Sutton, who believed Osmond was conducting a scam because of a similar situation that happened in Minneapolis in 2020. She reportedly provided detectives with another GoFundMe account that was created by or for Osmond in 2020 with the same narrative of a black man hitting her. Sutton made TikToks about the incident and said some of Osmond's friends and ex-roommate also reached out to her to provide a statement. So they reached out to detectives to ask about the GoFundMe, said help black Muslim mother pay her medical bill. A young black single Muslim mother was viciously assaulted by private security in Minneapolis, sustaining multiple facial contusions, a black eye, injuries to her leg. She needs an estimated $5K to pay her medical bills. Oh, you guys hear my brother's music?
No.
All right, it's good. Okay, $5K to pay the medical bills. All right. Okay. The department stated that the last contact officers had with Osmond was in 2012 for public lewdness and disorderly conduct. Ex-roommates reached out and told detectives that she and Osmond were no longer friends after discovering Osmond was scamming people and she wanted no part of it. She said Osmond reportedly created the GoFundMe in 2020, claiming someone hit me, but it was a lie. At the time of this writing, Osmond has not been arrested. So, according to court documents, Osmond has had several prior charges in the Virgin Islands, Minneapolis,
She gets
Hennepin
around.
County, Texas, and other counties in Texas. Osmond is currently on bail for separate offense from September 2023 for felony assault and domestic violence. She was charged with 2 accounts of misdemeanor domestic violence in Steele County, Minnesota. Okay, so we see all that, right? And she did not give herself up for the planned surrender that she needed for you know. Okay, so you see all that, right? You see all that. Now look at this response on social media. All right, can you guys still hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, we hear you.
I took the time to read the whole article, as everyone else should be in the habit of doing, and in conclusion, she wasn't hit with a brick, she was hit with a bottle. This was caught on camera and y'all want her to go to jail. Y'all have lost it. Now, what this person doesn't seem to understand, mind you, 17,000 likes, right? What this person also doesn't seem to understand is that as we took the time to read the article and see that she's been accused of other scams and also of assault charges, I find it hard to believe that he read all that part of the did he read the article?
Or did he just see someone else mention it in the comments and then decided to create his own narrative? Or
Yeah.
he just ignored everything and just saw the bottle, was like, that is the justification I need to go forward with my thoughts, period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all her friends, ex-roommates, and that black TikToker going to the feds for what? Ops, all of them. All right, listen, I'm definitely someone who, as a black woman myself, there is definitely a history of violence, and there is an extensive history of violence towards black women, from white and black men, right? Like that, cannot deny that. Now that being said, just because someone happens to be a minority doesn't automatically make them a victim, and it doesn't make them a good person either. This woman is a known liar, a known scammer, and she's also been accused of assault. So I don't understand why people feel compelled to defend her. And I really think it just comes down to the fact that she's a black woman who stated that she was hurt by a black man. And now everybody's like, everyone jumped on the bandwagon and we're just like, oh, yes, we have to defend her regardless of whatever extra evidence comes out. This is not the first post I've seen in defense of her, despite all the details in the article depicting her as some kind of, she is a fucking criminal. She's a hoodlum. Okay. She's a hooligan. Right. Despite the fact that she is shown as, essentially taking advantage of the generosity of good people by blatantly lying to them and scamming them out of money. Right.
Right.
There are people still fucking defending her. And then all her friends and ex-roommates and going to the feds. Why would you do that? Okay. First of all, I don't like thieves and I don't like scammers. If someone is deliberately going out of their way to steal, like I said, good Samaritan's money, that's fucked up. I'd probably go to the police for something like that. And I also would not be friends with someone doing something like that. It's vile. It's very vile. People work very hard for their money, and to use your status as a Black woman to try and garner sympathy is disgusting. It's vile, and it makes it difficult. Not that people really believe women in general when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Like, there's still going to be a large contingent of people who don't believe women regardless. And there's going to be a large contingent of people who believe women regardless, right? Like, that's just one way or another. But people are going to use this situation and reference this situation as a way to be like, don't believe this woman who came up and said this thing. Look at Brick Lady. Brick Lady was a liar too. That kind of thing. She is just like with the Jussie Smollett situation. She has done a disservice to her community. For Jussie, it was the gay community and the Black community. For this woman, it's the Black community and being a woman as well. This woman she's vile. She's a vile person based on these charges. And again, I know why they're defending her, but I just like these people are cooked. They're cooked when it comes to their mentality, because at the end of the day, if someone does something wrong, regardless of whether or not they are a minority, it doesn't give them a free reign and a free pass to be a vile person. Like, you don't just get to do whatever you want just because you're Black, just because you're a woman, just because you're gay, just because you're trans. You don't get to just do whatever you want and treat people however you want just because you fall under a minority status, right? And you are not automatically a victim just because you fall under a minority status. Like, really vile behavior. And again, but you know what? It's social media. Social media is cooked when it comes to a lot of these things because these people lack critical thinking skills, in my opinion. Thoughts?
Sure. Let's break down everything that she did. So she got hit with a water ball, which we don't know for certain whether that was a part of a setup or not, whether she's had these guys do that to her or not, because she ran a con. And usually, people who run a con can also get people to help them. Jussie Smollett also hired 2 Black men to help him run his con, and so like this stuff happens. But that said, she lied about getting hit with a brick, and why would she do that? Because you're probably going to get more money
and more sympathy
in your GoFundMe and the more sympathy if you say you got hit with something like a brick versus getting hit with a water bottle, which the only thing that really got hurt was likely your pride and your ego. Then she went on in her video to show all these other bystanders who had nothing to do with anything and said, look at all these Black men who didn't help me. And they're just confused because they're just like, none of them saw her get hit with a brick. So they don't know what's happening. They don't know what she's talking about. And if they're anywhere close to being someone acting that loud and crazy, they were probably just concerned for her health, mental health, that is. And all those people in typical internet fashion, because she showed their faces, had all their social media pulled up. They were getting all kinds of threats from other people saying, how dare you not defend this Black woman? He's supposed to be a Black man, blah, 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 blah. None of that ever happened. So all these people went after those people, were weaponized to go after those people for no reason, just to juice up her con, just to juice up her story. She should be in jail. Period. She should have been in jail after the previous cons. And I saw another video on TikTok, I think it was, of her assaulting a man on video over something. I couldn't remember what the point of it was, but she slapped like the taste out of this dude's mouth on video. It's assault.
Being charged for, actually. I don't know.
Right. That probably is. So she's on probation for that, and she's still conning people. Someone like this doesn't have any sympathy or any care for how their actions affect other people, and she should be in jail. So,
and apparently she's in Jamaica right now.
Well, they ain't getting. Yeah, she knew what was up. She ain't coming back to the U.S.
Yeah, she's not coming back, bro. She ain't coming back. Honestly speaking, I think it's like weird that people are fucking defending her. You're fucking cooked, dude. I really think that, and the crazy thing is, it's always people who are like, you guys, aren't smart enough to realize and all this extra shit or whatever, right? And I'm just like, I mean, like the facts are pretty much laid out. Like, this is a known hooligan, all right? This is a known hoodlum, okay? So what's up? Like, we gotta stop automatically just you gotta stop automatically just defending people unless you have like proof. Like 100% cannot be denied proof. Like there's some football player who like beat up his wife on camera and in front of their baby, right? And there was like a fucking video footage of it. Now, were there still people on his side? Yes, because people are vile like that, right? They weren't going to believe her regardless. But like I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely beating her ass, right? Like that can't be denied. That can't be denied. So I just think like, you know, people get angry at you if you don't automatically pick a side. If you're just kind of like, okay, I think I'll wait for more information because I just need to be sure before I start, you know, verbally accosting someone on the internet. Like I try to wait for more information. And I'll give another example. This girl lied about this guy giving her HIV, and people were harassing him, people doxed him, people threatened him. He has put his real name out there. He's forever going to be tied with this story now. He actually had to
I
go.
remember that. Yeah.
He had to go and get tested and show the results that he's negative for HIV, and he did not give her HIV. And she also admitted that she lied about giving him HIV or him giving her HIV. But people just blindly believed her without any real evidence. And the evidence she showed was some fabricated text. And I'm just like, you guys are fucking stupid, like legitimately. Like you gotta wait for more information. You can't just jump as soon as you hear something, because at the end of the day, you don't want to end up, I mean, and the bad thing is, like, here's the thing. It's okay to change your mind with more information, you know? It's okay to change your mind with more information. But again, I definitely think that the best thing you can do is just be mindful and wait for more information. Mostly because we are in this age of social media where people are like obsessed with clout. They're obsessed with I don't know, they're obsessed with popularity, you know? They're obsessed with being seen. You know, Jill Roberts, Scream 4, you will always be famous because that bitch was correct. She was correcto mundo. People will do anything on the internet for attention. And that's unfortunately the case when it comes to some of these things. Oh, and then there was that girl Carly who lied about being or she didn't lie about being kidnapped. Well, yes, she did. She
set it up. Yeah.
She disappeared. She set it up so she was kidnapped. People were like, she's kidnapped. And then it turns out she was perfectly fine. Like, I don't know what people are thinking these days with this stuff. I guess being a victim is just in, which, I mean, that makes sense. But again, they are just diluting. They are making things so much harder for actual victims. And that's why I hate shit like this. It's so annoying. So, she's not a good person, and people defending her, you're fucking weird. You're a fucking weirdo for defending this goddamn. She's a criminal. I hate scammers, dude. So, but that's all I got to say about that. Okay, so just call me McGurk. So Dirk saying how PlayStation fanboys are pretty much imploding on themselves. I thought the Dallas Cowboys were the saltiest fandom right now. It seems like they're not, but Cowboys need a pony. LMAO. Plus, it's me, Hades. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like we did discuss that throughout the show. So shout out to you guys. Appreciate it. You can become a member of the channel if you want to support me in this way and also want to submit topics for the show. Appreciate you guys coming through. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Damn, short show. Not short show, but a show that wasn't, it was 2 hours. Okay, anyway, we can get out of here.
It's just a regular show. Good show as usual. I have fun as usual. Have a great weekend. Play some games.
All right. Nautical?
Gaming is the key to your gaming life. Play some games. Enjoy your weekend. If it snowed where you are, hopefully you stay safe and you didn't freeze trying to sub up all that snow. Other than that, you guys have a great weekend. We will see you next week.
Yes. Singer? Oh, he's not here. Okay, well, he's, hey, it's me, Singer. I'm here. It's really early in the morning right now. I'm gonna stay up late and play some games. Great show, Luca. Team Xbox, right? Yeah, that
Hey,
sounds
hey, Luca, singer. I'm still here. Go Xbox, even though
Yeah,
I don't have
you gotta
one.
throw in a mate and a chum in there, yeah.
Yes, mate. I'm still here, mate. I love Xbox, even
I
though
don't
I
think
don't
I've
own
ever
one.
heard him use the word mate before in my life.
Uh,
All right, Di, thank you so much for being a guest and offering your perspective on our topics. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's always nice to be able to spend some time with you guys, even though I don't get to that much anymore, and we don't talk that much anymore. But
I'm
it's
just
always
a text
fun when I'm
away.
here. Thank you. I know. I've just been super busy.
No, I understand for sure. Okay, guys. Oh, Lord, let's fucking get out of here. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Kisses, kisses for the misses. Lord have fucking mercy. You know what's
What?
funny?
This is for the miss. All right, go
'Cause
ahead.
Yeah.
I'm the missus.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Slow-mo, oof, that age beating your
Hey,
ass, huh?
man. Yeah. You're right there, brother. Gonna have to
So
deport you to
I'm good.
Australia or something.
Okay, so shout out to Corey and Bandy, Drav, Yobi, Corey, I already said Corey. Outlaw, Iman, Imar bin Israel, Damien, Dolo, DQ, Tevin, Ronald, Phil, Dealer, MJ, Henry, Hades, King Metrotron, Meat Puppets, Groat, Lord Jorenza, Stone, Kenny, DC, Big Daddy, Smitty, Subnegro, Jazzy, Dominic, Sir Duck, Sycamore, Zion, Breesky, Light Strife, PTO, Nautical Jet, Envy, Slow-Mo, Hannibal. The list is getting shorter and shorter, guys. Should I upload videos? Oh my god. Well, thank you to everyone who's still supporting me in this manner. I do appreciate it. Last week's show got more views than I thought it would. I'm not gonna lie, I did get a couple people saying, "Luca, I didn't know that you looked like this." I did putting this picture. I think that's what drew people in, bro. I'm not gonna fucking lie. I'm not gonna fucking lie.
You gotta show a face. You gotta give him
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I'm not, not trying to toot my own horn or anything like that. I'm just saying a couple of people, made a comment about it. So I'm gonna assume it was because of the picture of me that got people to show up. All right. Because I definitely got way
Go
more
ahead and
views
toot that horn if you
than
got
I
it, flaunt it.
expected. So thank you guys for watching last week. Appreciate y'all. Thanks for everyone who watched this week. Appreciate it. I know I'm just so lazy getting on that fucking camera, yo. I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, I will catch you guys for next week for another episode. Thanks so much for hanging out. Thank you. Bye, guys.